want to be a fashion designer, but maybe you didn't go to fashion school or you just don't know where to start. I had felt exactly the same way. Today, I'm going to show you how I became a fashion designer and the exact steps you can to no degree needed. So before I ever sold anything, I make sure I understand the business. And when I talk about the business, I'm basically talking about the core things, the first things, the most important things you have to know and get yourself familiar with before you can call yourself a fashion designer. And this business are literally understanding fabrics, garment construction, stitching and designs generally. You need to understand all of these things. And for me, I actually learned most of these things on YouTube. I make use of YouTube videos to learn this basis. You can also know this, like you can also get yourself knowledgeable when it comes to things like this on YouTube. All you've got to do is to type in, free courses and all of that, and then it will bring out videos for you, tailored for you to understand all of these things. The step-by-step guides, videos showing you how to do them. Aside YouTube videos, there are free resources that you can see online for you to get started and become a fashion designer. While the most important things of all of these processes is practicing. You have to practice. My dear, to be honest, if you don't practice, all of these things that I mentioned will never ever be useful to you if you don't practice. And when I talk about practicing, this is basically putting to use those things you saw, you've learned online. Like I said, don't forget, in this video, we are talking about how you can become a fashion designer without going to a fashion school or having a degree. So making use of all these free resources online will help you to, understand the basis of fashion design. The key takeout is that you don't need a fancy course, just commit to learning a new skill every day. All right, this next thing is actually one of the bedrock, or should I say, what sets you apart from the many fashion designers. To be honest, there's no sector that is not saturated. There's no population where we don't have much people in it. You wanting to become a fashion designer is not to tell you that you're just the only one. Now, what makes a designer stand out is their aesthetics. Now, when we talk about the aesthetics, this is basically about how you make yourself different from the many people that are in the same field that you have. For me, it is modest wear with a modern edge. So you have to figure out who you are designing for and what makes your piece different. So this is actually related to what we call building your brand identity. For you to build your brand identity, this is the simple way that you can come up with it. You can come up with your brand identity just by basically doing this exact same thing that I mentioned earlier. And that is understanding who you're designing for and what makes your piece or designs different. All right, I used to believe that I needed to outsource production before I can, be called a fashion designer. I realized that learning how to sew not only taught me or showed me how dresses are being made, it also teaches me how to be more creative. Like I do say, before you can be called a fashion designer, you have to be creative. Creativity works with you being a fashion designer. So for you to understand how to be creative, you have to understand the basis of sewing, the techniques behind how to make pieces together, join pieces together to bring a particular design to life. So I will stress the fact that you have to understand or learn how to sew. It is not to say that you cannot contact, production agencies and all of that. But the key things for you to be a fashion designer is to understand how to sew, to learn how to sew. And like I said, you can always see, resources online, even on YouTube here, where you learn how to sew at the comfort of your home without having to go out. I've seen lots of designers who had the same self-taught philosophy with becoming a fashion designer, and I am also a living witness. Like I said earlier, you can always check out videos on how to, make some particular dresses that you are interested in, getting free resources here online, and practicing can actually help. All right, I feel like the mistake that lots of people make is waiting for the perfect time. Girl, There is no perfect time. You just have to start. I do tell people whenever I have the chance to that for you to be good at something, you have to create. So the more you create, the more you get better at it. So don't wait for a perfect time. You don't need to wait for a perfect time. To be honest, there is no perfect time to start. For me, I started making clothes for myself, then my friends, and then I started the brand. Me actually practicing with sewing for myself and friends gave me the confidence to, go ahead with building the brand. What I'm saying in essence, what I'm trying to tell you is for you to start and don't wait for a perfect time to start. Because to be honest, there is no perfect time. The perfect time is now. I would tell you, I would advise you to use social platform, or should I say social media, as your portfolio. Platforms like YouTube, Pinterest, Instagram can actually give you that, publicity and create more awareness for people who might want to, get dresses from you and all of that. Okay, you have to understand the fact that fashion design is a journey. The more you create, the more you get better at it. Keep learning, search for knowledge. To be honest, there's no peak to knowledge. Like, there's no particular threshold. Every mistake teaches you something new. And don't forget that you're building your whole brand and not following someone else's path. Please don't make the mistake of doing that. Be unique. Let your piece, your designs be unique. It is not to say that you cannot get inspirations from other designers and all of that, but you have to add your own touch of uniqueness. You have to, set standards and make yourself different and unique. If you dream of becoming a fashion designer, this is your sign to start. Just start. No degree, no big budget, just you and the courage to learn. If I did it, so can you. Like this video if it helped you. Subscribe for more content on how I'm building Heezah.co, my modest web brand, and how you can build yours too by learning from mistakes I've made that other people in the same industry have made in the past, and how you can learn from them and save yourself from making these mistakes as well. Leave a comment with your first step. I want to share your one. Till I see you in my next one. Bye bye.